It's time for Geocache Talk. Whether you are at work, in the car, or wherever you are, we hope you enjoy this show about the great sport of geocaching. If you're watching live on YouTube, you can be part of the adventure tonight in the chat room and participate with others as they watch the show. If you are listening later, please give it a like and subscribe on your favorite podcasting app so that you can get all of the weekly Geocache Talk goodness. If you have not become a patron of the Geocache Talk Network, what are you waiting for? Patron levels start as low as a Bison Tube level at $3 a month. To sign up is easy. Simply go to the Geocache Talk website and click on the Become a Patron button, or go to patreon.com/Geocache Talk. Patrons now get the famous Blackout coin, invites to special events, and other really great items throughout the year. Become a patron today. Have you subscribed to FTF Magazine yet? FTF Magazine is the #1 geocaching magazine available. It is a quarterly magazine that you can be part of. Submit your geocaching milestones and adventures to be published. FTF Magazine is also interactive with puzzles to solve and the hunt to find Spartacus. If you can solve the puzzle or find Spartacus, then you will be entered in to win a special pack tag. Every new subscription, you will receive a special swag pack. Subscribing is easy. Just visit FTF's website, ftfgeo.com. Don't miss out and subscribe today.
Big thanks to Derek of Baker Six Clan and our featured patrons, the Deadliest Cachers, Terrell 2, Team D&D, Bob Billy, the Redneck Geocacher. This show just tickles his biscuits. Peachy 1276, the No Code Geocachers, Marsipanic, Bricker John, Firesafe, FS Sabero, and our new patron, Deckers. All right, let's jump right into show 264 as we discuss constructing a travel bug hotel. What do you think, Jesse?
There
we are.
This is an interesting topic for me because as we were talking about before the show, Christy and I have always been really interested in owning a travel bug hotel and really constructing one. And 2 or 3 times over the years, we've had different attempts at trying to make one, and we've never actually really put one out, like a real legitimate one.
Right.
And we'll get into it tonight, but there are real legitimate ones, and there's ones that are not legitimate travel bug hotels, and we'll talk about that.
We'll get into that.
Without being too negative, there's ones that don't hit the mark. So
no,
I don't want one of those. I want one of the good ones that we're going to talk about. That's why I've been waiting. I've been really waiting I want one that's like spectacular, but also we'll get into it. We want one. So I'm really interested in some of these tips tonight.
Yeah, we're going to get into some really good ideas. And also, like you said, we're going to talk about all the different things about a travel bug hotel. So going to cover all that. But before we do that, though, we're going to do some news. So let's start. Just a reminder, we've still got the Reach the Peak going on. Of course, that'll be going on for some time.
How are you doing on that?
I did fun. I mean, I'm enjoying this.
I'm talking about this month. And don't be a cheater saying I'm waiting on the mega.
I'm waiting on the mega.
Oh, you cheater. That's cheating. But no,
hey, that's not
I know
cheating.
You're going to the mega.
Yeah, we're going to do a bunch of caches in Rome or around Rome. So I'm
at 3,050 because we got to go out. I only got 5 caches or 6 caches this weekend, but it helped get towards the peak because one of them was an earth cache. And then the other 4 didn't really have many favorite points on them because they're on top of a mountain, so they don't get hit very often.
Yeah.
But I gave, after our talk last week, I remembered, and I gave favorite points to 5 out of the 6 caches I found this weekend.
Wow.
Which is a lot for me. And but it really got me excited about caching again. And part of it was I wanted to get this souvenir promotion.
Yeah.
And I missed it last month. I didn't get it. I got, obviously I got the summit or whatever, but I didn't get the full one. And this month we were talking about it. And so we went on a 7-mile hike, got up to a good 12,000 feet, a good mountain hike, geocache like we really like. And it got us excited again. And part of it was like, when we came down, we're like, well, we need to get a few more because we're going to get our souvenir this month. So it works. The souvenir promotions work, right? It's working for us anyway.
That's good. Yeah. Yeah. So I've enjoyed it. But
Now,
yeah,
I don't have a mega to cheat and get it, but
yeah,
I'm just
I'm
saying.
gonna cheat and go to a mega. So there you go.
I know. I'm just jealous that I don't get to go to the mega. So
Quick note on Cache Fest. Quick update. We're obviously we got a new round of coins came in. We sold all of round one, but we reordered, and we've got the whole set of. So if you find us at Going Caching, we've got a set of all the coins for you that are available. And there's the back. I'll show the back real. I love the back. It's very
they're very pretty.
it's very Elvis in Vegas kind of thing. It has the very glitter and glam on the back of it. So love that. But so they'll be available. Oh yeah, Curious KDB. She got her coins.
I
That's
think
awesome.
it may be hers that I saw a post on Instagram this weekend of the coins. And it was funny because it caught me by surprise. You know how like you're scrolling through and something will catch you like, oh, neat. I did that. And it was one of these coins. And I was like, oh, those are the coins from the mega. I'm familiar with those, but they looked cool. And I was like, oh, cool. And it was even like the swipe thing. I know I'm terrible at all this, but it was like the swipe thing. So you could see, all the different coins. It was really cool. It's neat to see them getting out there in the world because they're, there was a lot of time spent to make those like really neat coins, and they're really neat looking. They're shiny.
I saw Tim Tennant's. His was on. He posted on the patron site. Maybe that was where you might have saw it too, by the way. But
so they say they're not trying to rub it in, but I'm just going to say that's rubbing it in. They had an awesome time at the Gilby Gone Wild event.
Yeah, Gilby Gone Wild was this past weekend. So I scrolled through a bunch of photos of that event. Looked like it was awesome. Would love to go there. What I really appreciate too is that. Oh, very cool. Yep, Jasper Reed. Yep. To hide the coins. Thank you. Appreciate that.
There is no doubt in my mind. And it's my fault right now. I can't travel as much because of work, and there is no doubt in my mind we will do a live show from Gilby at some point.
Oh yeah,
we have to. We have to do that because it's too cool, and I'm way too jealous. But I'm pretty much on a travel suspension for the rest of the year. So
funny.
That's not fair for a geocacher.
There you go. Yeah, it's okay. That is.
But we will do a live show from Gilby without a doubt.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. What I appreciate though is that, it's the Disneyland of geocaching, which I think was coined by Joshua. And what's funny is if you notice, I don't know if you picked up on this little subtlety, but Gilby Gone Wild, it was written in Disney script.
Oh my gosh!
So the G's are in the or which you can get away with that.
That is very cool.
Isn't that funny? So I caught the fact that they used the Disney script for Gilby Gone Wild, so I loved it.
No Pizza Ninja. I'm not on double secret probation. It's just work related. I can't travel.
Probation.
Yeah, I have been on double secret probation before, but not now. I'm not even in trouble at all. I'm just I have a huge work project that's taken up every single bit of my time, and I think I will be able to. I'll be able to travel 1 week this year.
I didn't know that. Thanks, Cash.
And it's going to be to visit my daughter. So daughter trumps all that other stuff. So
cool. Yep, that's true. Oh, okay. All the signs such as yep. Yeah, I love that.
Oh, that's very cool.
The Mickey ears, yes. So, yep. Hats off to Gilby and the folks in North Dakota. We love you, North Dakota. Rock on.
See, so they've claimed Disneyland. So who's going to claim Disney World of geocaching?
Yeah, I don't know. That's a good question, but
we'll see.
That's for another show, by the way. Oh. That's for another show. It is. All right. Next,
book club.
See. Book club. Tell us about.
Book club tomorrow night. It's our monthly book club. We're doing Forrest Finn's Treasure, that book that we covered several episodes ago. We're going over that tomorrow night. And on the patron feed, it's book club is only for patrons. So for everybody else that's not a patron, either be one or be jealous. But it's book club is tomorrow night. we've been meeting quite a long time now, several months, and we've got the books laid out for the rest of the year. We have some good selections. It's a little bit of everything. It's geocaching adjacent. That's what we call it now, because it's a lot of hiking and that kind of stuff, and exploring and travel. But this one's a little more on the head, right? Because we covered it on the show, and they do mention geocaching in the book as well. So this should be a good one. But a monthly book club, it's definitely the longest I've ever been in a single book club before.
Perfect.
Yeah, it's great. We have a lot of fun. So
here's the book club. I like to bring up the
Geocache
How
cool
Talk
is
book
that?
Club. There we go.
I love that logo. I need a t-shirt. We need to make a t-shirt.
Yeah, that's cool.
Or maybe a coffee mug, although we do it at night, so I can't drink coffee at night.
Boy, I can. Christy and I.
No, Christy can drink it as she's going to bed. I won't sleep for 3 days if I drink it that late at night. I cut off coffee at like noon. And if I drink it past noon, I'm in trouble.
That's Christy's joke, but I am.
Oh, look at that.
I tell the same joke as me sometimes.
Is there a coin for that, for the book club?
No.
Interesting.
Not yet. There's no coin for that, but we do want people to start attending more and more. So if you're a patron,
come check it out.
Please.
Even if you're not a big reader, everything we read ends up being a talk about geocaching. Oh, bookmark. Duh. Why, God, that's so good. Thank you, Owen.
It is good.
Why haven't we done a bookmark? Okay, anyway, that's just silly. How do we not put that together?
Have you ever seen the bookmark that's it's like a paper clip? So you can put that's kind of cool. That's instead of like a
I've seen one that's like real skinny bookmark, but it's also a flashlight somehow.
Oh, wow.
It's got a little LED in the end, so like a book club, like a light that you can use too.
Right. So you can pull your bookmark out, start reading, and use your flashlight. I love it.
A trackable bookmark, yeah, of course. Everything's trackable. Come on now.
It's a great idea. But yeah, Christy and I both use the same joke. It's her joke, I think, or where she heard it, but I'm the same way. I could drink it up till I fell asleep. I could fall asleep drinking coffee. So
it's not a joke for her. She can actually do that. I can't. Gadget talk.
Yeah, so I'll get to going caching here in a moment. Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah. Derek put in the notes about Gadget Talk. That's smart. So Gadget Talk is tomorrow night because they can't do it normally they do it Tuesday night, but tomorrow night is Gadget Talk because everybody's traveling to Rome, Georgia Tuesday. So there was no way to do Gadget Talk.
Yeah. Yeah.
So just a quick note, everybody to listen and watch tomorrow night for Gadget Talk.
And now, what else did we have for Cache Fest?
I think we're good. Cache Fest. We're still doing a lot of planning. Just to let people know, we're still a long way out, but we work on that. We met. Yeah, we met the other day, and so we're still. There's a lot, and we're wanting to make it like gangbusters. So we're really spending a lot of time on it. So,
side events I think is the new project, right? Because you got to have cool side events.
Side events. We got to get the next coins fully ready to go because you want to get those done early. You don't want to fall behind on coins.
Well, the world is so uncertain now, and the supply chain is so messed up. We have to get everything ahead of time. You can't wait to the last minute right now.
No,
it'll never show up. So,
yeah. GTN, you want to give a
So on the 10th coming up, that show, we will have Christy will be back on, so the CFO will be back on, and we have the update on. We gave everybody plenty of time. It's a 45-day challenge, but you could do it at any. You start and stop at any point. Right. So if you haven't finished your challenge, and we'll drop those in the notes too. But if you haven't finished that challenge on the 10th, we're going through it, and we did some work on ours this weekend as well.
GTN 45,
and we're making it hard. Like I said before, I'm not doing it. Christy's doing it, so she's doing all the segments herself. So on our hike this weekend, we hid one container, and we scouted information for one earth cache. So there will be a new Where I Go and Earth Cache up on top of a mountain. And Chrissy's doing all of that. I mean, I'm helping her, but she's doing all of that herself because she's never published one all on her own before. So that'll be the two hardest parts of it for her.
Right. And that's October 10th, correct? That's
October 10th.
The show 266. And so, okay, good. Perfect. That'll be a lot of fun for you guys to do that.
Now, when are your shows next weekend?
Yeah, so going caching, I just want to give a couple of updates. One is that we'll have basically someone from every show of the network will be represented at going caching, which is nice. So there's Emily will be there, Chad flying in from Washington, Derek driving over from Memphis, and I'm driving over from Texas. So we've got Challenge Talk covered. We got Gadget Talk covered. We got Geocaching with Kids covered. We've got Puzzle Talk because I kind of MC that one. And then also the Plain Old Sunday Show. So I think we've got all the shows covered. So
all the shows,
baby. So we got 2 shows going on during going caching. So,
and I'm sure you'll be going live at many other times too.
Yeah, which now
during the week.
We now have Facebook Live, and we're on Facebook Live tonight. So if you're watching on Facebook Live tonight, give us a shout out. I don't know how the comments work from Facebook Live. It's fairly new, but hopefully, if you're on there, let us know. But we're going to start using Twitter. Sorry, I didn't mean Facebook. Twitter Live is now available. So now we're on Twitter.
That's still a thing?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Still a thing. And so this was the replacement for Periscope. So Twitter Live, we're now live on, obviously we're on Facebook. So as Kevin pointed out, Kevin's watching.
There's some Facebook right there.
Twitter Live, is now a thing, and we are using that. So,
have we mentioned our date for Podcast of Hope?
Yes, we have. December 5th. And there have been some movement on the guests for that, but I can't talk about that right now.
No spilling the beans tonight.
No spilling the beans, but apparently we are live on Twitter.
Oh,
so nice. There we are. A little delay.
Hold it up. Let's see. Oh, come on now. Now I can't see me. Derek made me come off the screen.
Oh, look.
I was trying to wave in the background to see myself on your camera. It didn't work out. Okay.
Anyway, so good stuff. And
so lots of stuff going on.
Yeah, so we're going to go live on Twitter as much as we can during the week, next week, to give people that aren't able to go to going caching sort of a feel, and they can kind of feel like they're, part of the, because they're all part of the family. So this is a chance for them to kind of see,
including me, for people that can't go,
but can be
and
there.
Are super jealous.
So we got 2 shows going on. We've got the G and Cache Radio Hour. It's actually
that's gonna be so cool.
It's not an hour, but it's the radio network show. It's only about 20 minutes long, but that's what we were asked to do, is to make it. But yeah, it's 1920s themed. It's the Roaring 20s. We've been practicing. So it is transcribed. But we've sort of peppered in a little bit of geocaching into the show, because even though it's 1920s, we got to throw some geocaching in.
Got to have geocaching in there.
Yeah, we've got actual props. So here's a couple of the props from that show. I don't know if you can guess what this is, but this is G, and he's going to be shoveling snow on the sidewalk. So that's my shoveling snow on the sidewalk. Audio props for the show. So
That's going to be so
several
cool.
different props. Yeah, so kind of fun, something different. So
Don't share too much.
hey, I can share as much as I want. My show. Well,
Gary's gone. He shared too much. He got booted off again. It happens every single time. He can't stop spilling the beans.
it's apparently
it does sound
our
like
show,
nails on a chalkboard.
but I'm not producing it. Yeah, that's kind of the point. So that's all. I can share a little bit. People aren't going to be there. Some people will be there, but a lot of people cannot. So I wanted to share that. Get people excited. So that's Friday night. We'll be live. We've got a show on Saturday. Geocache is going to be doing Gadget Talk is going to be doing a show on Saturday. So that'll be awesome. So he's in Gadget Talk jail. Geocache Talk jail. That's right.
It happens.
It happens. All right. Moving on to making a travel bug hotel. So I do want to do a quick shout out to Podcasher, our friends over at Podcasher, Sunny, Sandy, and Sean. They these notes came from my research, which led me to Podcasher, which led me to some cool notes. So we're kind of using those tonight a little bit. So again, thank you, Podcasher.
Podcasher was the first geocaching podcast I've heard. That's the one. That's how I discovered Geocaching podcast, and it was the first show I was on too.
I joke with Sonny all the time. I call him the grandfather of geocaching podcast, and he's starting to look that way. Have you seen him lately? He's got all the gray flowing hair. He's got the gray flowing hair.
Nice.
So shout out.
They've been and for anybody that doesn't know, they do an audio only show,
right?
Podcast. They've been doing it for a long time. Family friendly, just like us, and they've been doing it for a long time, and they contribute a lot of articles too as well.
Yes. Yeah, but FTF magazine, a lot of good stuff.
Yep, they're in there. So you've probably seen them there. Have you ever been on their show?
Yes.
Okay.
I was on once to talk about Hide and Seek, my first book.
Oh, okay, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Mine was 14er, which is also where the birth of our show originally came from, us doing a show together.
Yeah, we got to hang out with them a little bit there.
Mm-hmm.
I know you don't want to talk about it because you weren't there, but we did get to hang out with them in Cincinnati.
And that mythical fake
event that we can't talk about. Yeah,
that's right, because it didn't happen. It's fake.
No, it was real. Unfortunately,
I've seen Photoshop before. Come on.
But so it was fun seeing them and enjoyed hanging out with them. We had our own we've had two media parties. We had a media party at 14er, and then we had a media party at the aforementioned Giga that you did not get to go to. So anyway,
fake news.
News. Unfortunately, you go to the next one maybe. All right, so
there hasn't been a Giga since then, has there?
There has not.
I mean, in America, not in the world, but
yep.
Who knows? Maybe we'll get to host the Giga at some point.
Ooh.
Maybe. I mean, some other random people, not us.
Okay. Into the notes. There's always exceptions, of course, but here are some general conventions when it comes to travel bug hotels. They are normally a regular or large geocache, which we'll get into that here in a second. You really can't, I guess you could call yourself a travel bug hotel if it was smaller, but I don't think you should.
So here's what I got to say about this. Obviously, you're going to be the nice guy tonight, and I'm going to be the not so nice guy.
Yeah.
Yes, they should be. Even a small would hold a few. It should be if it's sandwich box size, right? It's like a sandwich container size.
You hope for regular or large, though, right?
They should be a regular or large because you want to have multiple ones and you need to be safe and everything else. And we'll get into that construction part later. But I do have to say the other side of this. Just because your cache is a regular or large doesn't make it a travel bug hotel. And we'll get into why later, but don't just slap TB hotel on there because you want one. There's some other things you should probably do as well. But we'll get into those. I'm going to play the counterpart tonight. Yeah, the Goofus and Gallant. I got to play the Goofus part, right?
Yes, I like it.
Because Gary's too nice, and I have found several travel bugs that were not travel bug hotels, or caches that were not travel bug hotels.
Yeah, you've got a good example of one here in a little bit.
I do. We're not going to call it out, but I found one at some point in the recent past.
Yes.
Yeah. So
now, what's interesting is that not only based on size, but cache type, something to remember when you're constructing, because everyone's going to go construct a travel bug hotel, right? And you're going to put it out, and you're going to say, I create a travel bug hotel based on information that I got from Geocache Talk. So when you do put your travel bug hotel out, think about the fact that it doesn't have to be a traditional. In fact, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, Jesse, I think any cache type that's not virtual, so not virtuals or earth caches, anything like that. Yeah. Anything that's a traditional, anything that's I shouldn't say traditional, that's bad. That's cache type. Anything that's a physical container can be a travel bug hotel.
It could be.
However, could be if it's done well, if it's done properly.
Yes, if it's done well, obviously all this time about doing well, but here's the balancing act with that. So obviously where I go would count because it's the best cache type ever, but any other cache type like a multi or a unknown or letterbox could be a travel bug hotel, but there's a couple of things that are implicit in the kind of the agreement if you're putting out a travel bug hotel. And we're going to talk about several of those tonight, but one of those would be that they're not like travel bugs are not going to get stuck there forever. So you wouldn't want to make something that's hard to find or people are going to not find it because
I agree.
Travel bugs should move. And we'll talk about some other things that you kind of agree to when you slap TB Hotel on your cache name. It's not a formal agreement, but obviously there's some things that you're kind of agreeing to when you're somebody's trusting their travel bugs to you.
I agree. But because that's a point we're going to make here. Right. You're exactly correct.
But obviously that's the best cache type. And why wouldn't you do that?
I have found, I don't know if you found one of these before, but I have found a travel bug hotel that was a letterbox hybrid. I like the idea of combining the two together because, it was a nice travel bug hotel. It gave me a chance to throw the stamp out there, onto their little, their book, and I can, collect. I'm bad at collecting though. That's
now. So let me ask you a question about that nice travel bug hotel.
Yes.
Was it just at the location and they just threw a stamp in there and called it a letterbox, or was there some of the other components of a letterbox to it?
No, there was other things. There was. It wasn't a. I mean, it was a decent box size.
No. I'm asking, was it at the posted coordinates?
Oh yeah. And so it's a letterbox hybrid. It's just a geocache, right? It's
and we've had those shows before, and that's for another show again. But there should be a little bit of getting to the letterbox, but let's not get into that tonight.
Yeah, not tonight. That's for another.
But it still can be all types, right? Like you could do all types.
Yeah. You could do.
Oh, let me ask you this: what about a challenge?
Now, I'm not an expert. You and the challenge.
I'm gonna stir this up. You know what? I'll throw that because I know they're in there. I'll throw that over to the challenge talk experts.
Yeah.
But would that ruffle some feathers if it was a challenge? So you could still get there, and it's still at the posted coordinates, and you could still trade travel bugs, but you can't claim it unless you can satisfy that challenge.
Yeah, that's fascinating.
We need a challenge expert to chime in on that. I think we have one close by. That would be interesting. I'm curious as how that would go over.
Yes. Yeah, and it does get into what you're talking about, the fact that you want to make sure that you want travel bugs to move. And since nowadays travel bugs don't move very well, I mean, they struggle.
Well, they moved to
If you're,
eBay.
yeah, well, but yeah, poor travel bugs don't get moved like they should. So, see, Scrubbug Hound says,
Oh, okay.
she says, placed an old mailbox outside near my front porch. It's a travel bug hotel. You
Oh, that's
both
right.
gave me
Yeah,
permission to use
that
them.
one's awesome.
Yeah, it's got our logo on there.
Mhm.
Some other people's logos. Yeah, absolutely. Way to go, Scrabble Hounds. Absolutely.
Heck yeah.
So just give it some thought. The fact that you might want to do it differently than just the standard. But you did bring bring up a point we'll get to here in a second. But another point is that if you can make it in your area in a location that is easy access from the highway, the airport, the freeway, rest stops. Think about all those kind of things that if you can make it right off of an interstate,
Mm-hmm.
depending on where you are in the world, those are kind of nice to do that as well.
So let me throw out a counterpoint again.
Go ahead.
So the downside of that is that means there's a lot more Muggle traffic there as well.
Yes.
So what do you think about one that's another potential way to look at this is you do it away from Muggles, maybe in the woods, maybe on a mountain trail or whatever else, or maybe somewhere else a little bit harder to get to, but not impossible. But they're probably not ever going to be Muggled. Those travel bugs will probably never disappear because nobody will accidentally find them, right? So there's kind of two ways to look at where you'd want to put one. Obviously, think through whatever you're doing, but if you're in it's great to have a lot of traffic, but it's also bad to have a lot of traffic.
Right.
So you got to think about a couple different sides of that, right?
Yeah. One of the things that I've seen lately when I've researched travel bug hotels and looked at a lot of them, and this is probably nowadays the smart thing to do, and that is, you could call it travel.
You could do a Geocoin hotel. You just couldn't stop people from putting regular trackables in it.
Right. The trick with that is if you're going to do a Geocoin hotel or a travel bug hotel, and somebody mentioned earlier, if it's smaller, could it be a travel bug hostel or a travel bug motel or, be creative. One of the things that I think is important is that, and I've seen this lately, is people are starting to put locks on them, and then they're putting on the cache page the combination to the lock.
I would always put a lock on mine. There's no way I would have an unlocked travel bug hotel. Now the code would be easily accessible, like the combination would be easily accessible.
Right.
But I couldn't imagine having one that's not locked.
Right.
Now I have found them that way, but I wouldn't own one because again, one of the other agreements that you do is I'm going to keep these as safe as I can.
Yeah.
Right. I've designed this site to be as safe as I can. And a lock is definitely a way to go. I'd feel terrible if they all went missing just because I didn't go to the trouble to lock it up,
Yeah.
That's not to say that I haven't found them in a different way, but for me personally.
Yeah. Bounce says, mine all have a puzzle attribute because they require something special to get into them. I don't have any issue with travel bugs moving in and out. So that's good. So, you got to strike that balance between you want stuff to move, but yet you don't want stuff to go missing. So look like a Buc-ee's. Yes. That gets into also one of the things that I
bet Buc-ee's would allow that too.
Probably so. We'll get into the actual construction here in a minute, but
yeah.
So easy access to highways, airports, freeways, as much as we can. We want to do, and also again, it can be tricky. Cache owner needs to make the cache flows easily accessible, but not easily muggled. So that's really key too. Because the idea of a travel bug hotel is to keep travel bugs moving. And nowadays,
premium or no?
I would think no. But
I would think no as well. But because
I hate doing those
somebody who
nowadays,
is not premium could get their travel bug put in there, and they could even find their own travel bug.
Yeah. 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 Um, so yeah, I don't like doing non-premium caches anymore because they tend to always disappear, and my
I
premium
have
ones
never
tend to
hidden a
stick
premium.
around. Oh, I do the exact opposite nowadays.
I have never hidden one that was premium.
Wow, that's interesting. I almost do the exact opposite. I might have a couple, but I almost always do premium, just because if I don't, they disappear. So I don't know what the deal is. I guess if people pay money, they're easily more likely to. Oh, Marcellus.
Marcellus brought up a good question. Would branding like Bucky's run into problems with HQ? If it was, without getting into all the commercial guideline stuff, if you were promoting,
You wouldn't
if
want
you
to
were
call it
promoting a
Buc-ee's.
brand or a store, you could absolutely get in trouble for violating commercial guidelines. However, there are many caches out there, like in the mountains, that have like the Jeep logo on them and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, they're painted up like ammo cans. We've all seen them.
Yeah.
That's not promoting a brand. It's just identifying with it, I think. Now,
Yeah.
if it says like, "Hey, Bucky's Travel Hotel, come in and we'll give you the combination," yeah, you might have a problem with that.
Yeah. Yeah. So Marcellus, you're correct. You wouldn't want to put the Bucky's in the name. This is something that WV Tim talked about one time. Is he's got a gadget cache out in front of a State Farm. Well,
Mm-hmm.
he can't mention State Farm on
No.
the cache page, and they're real picky about him. He couldn't put State Farm on the gadget cache, but he did use the colors, which is generic
Well,
enough that.
and you can always stay on the cache page. Like the people inside the building right here gave me
Yeah.
permission. They know what's going on. You don't have to worry about it. And you can put two and two together, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So there's ways around it, Marcellus, that you could
Mm-hmm.
do. You could slap a Bucky's bumper sticker on it, and you could make it all up like a Bucky's, just not mentioning that it's
Yeah, and my reasoning behind that to justify that would be I'm trying to make it fit into the environment.
right.
Right, like if you're doing it right, not if it's way off, but if you're doing it like on Bucky's building or in their parking lot, you could make it fit into the environment of there so it looks natural to non-geocachers.
Right. One thing too, this is similar to gadget caches. I think nowadays, I think it's the best practice that if you're really going to be a trail bug hotel, I think I would suggest that you make sure and put that in the name, just like a gadget cache. If it's going to be a gadget cache, my opinion is that there should be some type of parentheses. Well, I think
Yeah.
in that true for challenges, you nowadays you've got
Well,
to
challenge you have to, you're required to, but
you have to, right. I think of this as the same thing, and the fact that if you're going to a trail bug hotel, you really should name it with a trail bug hotel name, or infer that it's a trail bug hotel in some kind. Give people the idea that this is a trail bug hotel. So,
well, and I guess since a travel bug hotel is not an icon type, it's not a cache
right.
type, it's
Correct.
just kind of a thing that has come up over the years. The only way to really call it a travel bug hotel is to name it that.
Yeah.
There's no icon for it. There's no, there's nothing for it other than the name that makes it a travel bug hotel.
Right. No, it's true.
Or travel bug graveyard or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah. Yeah. You could just, and we'll get into some ideas here in a minute of how to be creative. And we got a video we're going to show too that shows some more of that creativity. We're about to get to that section of the notes, but they also have, travel hotels, something similar as part of the cache name. We know that. Some owners will offer suggestions about the movement of travel bugs. I think this is a good idea, and I know you've probably seen this too, Jesse, at a mega. I appreciate when I think this was at 14 or 2. I thought first time I think I saw this, which was you guys had put the bins together in such a way that the bins were labeled so that you could easily walk up and you could go, well, I'm headed to Maine. Is there anything that wants to go east? You go, oh, here's a bin, and hopefully all of the travel bugs in this bin are wanting to go east of here, and I'm headed
Right.
east, so I'm going to grab one of those. Or I'm going to be leaving the country. Are there any travel bugs that want to leave the U.S.? And you can have a bin that says would love to leave the U.S.
Yeah.
or would love to go north or would love to, whatever.
Now
So
that
that
gets into another show, that's for another show again.
that's
But
the show.
people properly labeling their travel bugs, right? Because most people do not put the little tag on there like they should that says my goal is to go to so and so. So if you're not reading it there, you don't know where they're trying to go. You might be in an area with no service, so you get there as travel again, and you don't know where it's supposed to go. Should you take it or not? But that's kind of a whole separate topic.
Yeah.
But so let me throw out an etiquette question for you.
Okay.
You show up at a travel bug hotel. There's 10 travel bugs.
Oh boy.
How many do you take?
I take one.
You take one?
I take one.
Okay. Is it bad to take them all?
I've watched someone, not saying who, grab all the travel bugs out of because they're like, these got to get moved. They grabbed them all, threw them in their bag, and said, let's get them on the road. And I think that was you that did that. Was that you that did that?
I've done it several times.
Okay.
Now, generally, if I have service where I am, what I try to do is I'll check a travel bug hotel.
Yeah, we check them. Mm-hmm.
If they've been sitting there for a long time or the cache hadn't been found for a long time, I'll take them all and move them on to another place because they're not moving. And it's frustrating when your travel bug's not moving. But
I agree.
Something I also like to do, which you've also seen me do, I think, which I think is funny, is I'll save up a few when I'm going out of town, and I'll go around and collect a bunch in town, like 25, 26 of them all around town.
Yep.
And when I know I'm going somewhere that has a travel bug hotel, I'll put them all in that thing and stock it all up.
Stock it all up.
Especially ones that don't have that many, because it's sad to see a travel bug hotel with like 2 trackables.
Yes.
And it's funny as an owner to be like, I have a travel bug hotel. It's got 2 trackables. It probably averages 5 normally. And then all of a sudden it has 26.
Yeah.
That's such a win. You're like, woo, it's awesome. I've never had a travel bug hotel, but I've had some caches that tend to, because of their location, size, stuff like that, collect a lot of trackables.
Right.
And I'm always excited when all of a sudden there's like 4 or 5 new trackables in one. And it's something I'll rush out to look at sometimes.
Yeah. Oswald's correct. If they've been there a while, they need to be moved. So grabbing one is probably not again, it's probably good to grab and move them on. We grabbed one the other day. We did not, I looked up the information as best I could while we were there, and it just wanted to get moved. So I grabbed it from Buttercup. I grabbed it from the oldest in Arkansas, and I'll be taking it to Georgia. So its goal was just to move. So I grabbed it. We're going to move it. It doesn't have a specific direction. But I do appreciate the ones, though, and Tom was saying that he thinks all the Woodstocks pretty much do this, which is good, which is if you've got bins out front at a mega, you can tell, if you're dropping a travel bug off, and this is another etiquette thing, I think, too, Jesse, is if you go to an event, the idea behind it is you're supposed to only grab as many as you drop off.
Yeah, and I think we're going to get way off track if we start talking about events, because megas are where travel bugs go to die, right? But and that's a whole different topic, because even the owner of that can't stop that, as we've learned. Because anybody can check a trackable into a mega, and there's nothing the mega owner can do about it.
Yeah.
So they can disappear a lot of times, right? But anyway, that's another show for sure.
Thanks, Jaspery, for doing that. She snagged a whole bunch of travelers from Gilby to bring back to the Travel Bug Hotel and stock her up. That's awesome. Make sure you label. Make sure you don't forget that you grabbed all those, because otherwise they'll sit forever in the mega. But we're getting off topic. So, all right, you're right. Any geocachers welcome to find and log the travel bug hotel cache, whether or not they drop off or pick up travel bugs. That's a good point. I think that people who are new don't realize that they might skip a travel bug hotel because, like, well, I'm not going to grab any and I don't have any to grab, so I'm not going to go to this cache. And it's like, no, I think all travel bug hotel owners would say the same thing, and that is, we don't mind you coming, visiting, logging the cache. We prefer if you grab one and move it. That's the better thing to do. If all the travel bugs get moved from the travel bug, would you say it's
So if the TV hotel goes empty, should the owner be responsible? You can't really do that because you can't. I mean, you can go and grab some from somewhere else and bring it to your hotel, but I think there's some people that would consider that bad etiquette. I don't know. Let me ask you the question. So let's say you own a travel bug hotel in town, and we'll have people weigh in on this one, right? But so Gary's travel bug hotel, it's in the middle of town.
Yeah.
All the travel bugs go empty. And you go all around town to every other cache and grab all the trackables and shove them back in your travel bug hotel. Right. Is that good or bad?
I think it's good because the idea is that, you saying that people come and get all the.
Let's say your travel bug, you own a travel bug. It's Gary's Bucky's travel bug hotel, and it's empty. So you go around and grab all the travel bugs in town and every other cache in town and put them in your travel bug hotel.
I think that the idea behind that is that those trackables have a better chance of moving if they're in a travel bug hotel than if they're.
So Owen says that would be hoarding, and that'd be bad.
Yeah. So
there's one point. I think, and I can tell you what I would do, and I'm not saying this is proper etiquette. I'm just saying what I would do.
Yeah.
If I had, Memphis's travel bug hotel in my town, I don't think I would gather trackables in town, but every time I traveled anywhere I went in the world, obviously, respecting the goals on the trackable, but if it's just like move me around, I would bring them all back to my home travel bug hotel. And drop them there instead of just putting them in random caches, unless it took them to their goal somewhere else, right? Like, obviously.
Yeah. Hodag was saying you could grab a few, maybe.
Yeah, I think kind of what like the hoarding idea is pretty good. Like, you wouldn't want to just snag them from like your neighborhood caches. You'd probably want to bring them from out of town into town if the goal was just to move. And your trackable hotel met all these requirements that we're talking about, and they moved quick enough.
No, I agree. Yeah, it's not. I understand that the possibility is that your travel hotel is going to continue to keep trackables moving, but there's no guarantee that somebody's going to, not go to another cache and grab the trackable and move it as well.
I think it could be kind of any of them. Now, I know for a fact, and I don't want to bag on any particular caches, right? So I'm not mentioning any times, names, or anything else, but I know one thing I do for sure is if I come upon a trackable that's either in a, like, let's just say a sandwich container somewhere, right?
Right.
I'm taking that trackable 100%. I don't care what the goal of it is. I'm not going to leave it in that cache because it's either one going to get stolen or, two, the cache is going to be destroyed or whatever. Like, I'm saying like I don't want to say low quality cache, but low quality container, and it's going to get damaged. 100% of the time I'll take that trackable and move it to a better, safer location. But even if it's a travel bug hotel and there's a travel bug in it and it's a travel bug hotel in name only.
Yeah.
Like, let's say it, and we're not going to tell on any trackable TV hotels, but we've all found these. Somebody labels it as a TV hotel, but it's really like not even a lock and lock. It's a it's like a Tupperware container that's not even Tupperware, right? This is generic dollar store Tupperware.
Right.
And it's just shoved somewhere where you can see it from the trail and you know that thing's going to go missing. And somebody was trying to do something good and new. I would absolutely try to move those trackables to a much safer location.
True.
I'm not judging them. Everybody can put out whatever they want, right? I mean, I am judging them very much so, but they still have the right to put out whatever they want. Some people might think my stuff's crap, but if I ever see a trackable outside of travel hotel, outside of this conversation, but in any cache that looks like it's an unsafe cache, I am 100% going to move that trackable.
Yeah, this is more for another show, but I agree. especially, and you and I both found caches, found travel bugs and caches. You're like, holy cow, how long is this? This is not the cache to, because some people
No,
don't
no.
know, and they
Oh yeah,
drop a
there's
trackable
right.
in the middle of nowhere,
See,
or
I'm gonna have to argue with that. I have some.
or very
It
difficult.
depends on what the goal of the trackable is, right, and how often you're
Yeah,
putting it in there.
true.
But I hate to have somebody's trackable go missing.
Right.
So I generally will not put a trackable inside town unless it's a completely secure. I'll
Me
put it a
too.
little bit away from town. Now in Colorado, the ones away from town get hit a lot more often than some places.
Sure.
So they still get traffic, right? But they don't get hit by muggles. So there's kind of a little bit of a toss up, there.
Yeah, there's a sweet spot there. There's a sweet spot with, you want it to be a cache that is not, muggles will never see.
Here's a good
But
one. Yeah.
oh yeah, go ahead.
So I might grab some from around town if they haven't visited the TB hotel yet.
Okay,
That makes sense. You're paying attention, you're doing research, and you're moving them around. So
I kind of see that.
yeah, I like that as a compromise.
It shows like a bell curve. You want the travel bug to be in a sweet spot, which is not a cache out in the middle of nowhere that we hike to that hasn't been found in 2 years.
I don't know. I don't know.
Should
I might
travel
disagree with you.
I
It's
disagree.
still better than it going missing.
Yeah, but it's not going. It's gonna just.
So let's say if
It's
there's
like
an
it's gonna-
awesome location, like the top of a mountain,
Yeah.
but it only gets hit once every 3 to 6 months.
Ugh.
But
Well,
you
okay,
also
3 to
know
6
for a
months.
fact
What
that
about
nobody's going to stumble upon this
Yeah.
and you'll never get muggled there because it's locked. It's at the top of a mountain. You can't accidentally find it. Would you prefer that or get moving every 3 days and probably go missing in town?
I actually take the latter.
Well, then you don't like your own trackables. So
No, I guess my point is somewhere in between, because
yeah.
if it's sitting in a cache that hadn't been found in 2 years, the trackables, what's the point? But
Well,
I understand
2 years is different right now. And I would
Yeah.
take responsibility if I did that and I hit it in one like that. I would go and move it. I'd go back to that
Sure.
cache and move it if it hadn't moved in like 6 months or something. But
Well, that's what Burnt Turtles is saying. You can always
yeah,
I'm talking
exactly.
About,
I would do the same thing.
yeah,
Now,
I'm talking
I
about.
will tell you, I had one backfire on me. So I had
Yeah.
a trackable one time. It's kind of the opposite side of that.
Yeah.
And on the goal, it said only put this trackable in 5.5 caches.
Oh gosh.
So I hit it in a 5.5 cache. It was a 5.5 where ago that you had to boat to or whatever else, and that's where it was hidden. So somebody came and got it about, I don't know, a month or two later after that to move it to another 5.5, but it went missing immediately. So it never made it to a second cache. So there's always the
What are you
chance that
gonna
that's
do?
going to happen.
Yeah, yeah. Well, again, okay. It's back on trail.
Me and Melody are on the same page. A trackable and those far out ones are motivation to go find it.
Yeah, but
come on, if you see a far out cache like that, that's a hike and it's got trackable in it, you want to go get that trackable because it's probably got a cool story.
I hate to tell you, I'm jaded. If I see a far out cache that says there's a trackable in it, I ignore that because I don't think that there's a. And sure enough, 9 times out of 10, there's no trackable in that thing. That thing's
I know, which is a whole different story, but I don't think we're going to get into that today, right? Proper geocache maintenance.
No, we'll get into that.
As a TB owner, you're a TB hotel owner or any cache owner, you're actually responsible for making sure that travel bugs are either in there or marked missing.
That's another
if you
show.
Don't believe me? Go look it up in the rules.
That's for another show, but yes, you are correct. But that's for
another show.
All right, let's get into some creativity, some different things you can do.
Oh yeah.
And we're gonna video. We're gonna show here in a second, but we're gonna talk now about things you can do to really kind of wow people with a travel bug hotel. Because making a lock and calling it a travel bug hotel to me is kind of like, I mean, okay, but
yeah.
We want to do something.
That's not spectacular, though. You want to wow people, right?
You want, and if you're interested in getting a few favorite points, that's not going to get a favorite point. But we've got some ideas tonight to give you that I think will bring a lot of favorite points to you, and a lot of, be honest with you, a lot of caches that are the most popular in states now are travel bug hotels. So if you'd like to be on that list, you'll want to have a travel bug hotel. So,
question for you before we go on.
Yeah.
When you're traveling through town,
Yep.
does one that says TB Hotel, does that give you more of a reason to stop for it, whether it's got high favorites or not?
It does. For me, it does.
It does. Even if I don't have travel bugs and there's no travel bugs in it,
I want
to me, I tend to think, and this is totally probably crap, right? But I tend to think if somebody puts out a travel bug hotel, more likely than not, compared to a regular cache,
yes, Hugh,
they will. They will probably maintain it better.
Yes.
So I like to stop by those because it seems to me like if you have regular cache and then one that says TB Hotel and you're traveling through town, even if the favorite points are equal, the TB Hotel has a better chance of being something really cool.
Right.
It's not always, but it could.
Yep. So one idea is,
You got catfished. You went out to it just because it's this TB Hotel.
I think Bounce is overthinking it a little bit. I don't think that happens that often. So Trailburgers are the only ones I don't ignore.
Don't ignore.
Ooh,
good point. Oh, okay. Yeah.
So one idea is
a
travel bug hotel, make it look like a hotel. So we've got a video to show you about that. So here we go.
The reception area and the actual hotel room, more of a lodge type style room, definitely a little different. So come see this one.
Mm-hmm.
But
I've never found one that cool.
We talk about geocaches and locations, and geocaches bringing you to that location for a reason other than the cache itself being the location. We're going to talk about travel bug hotel locations. You look around here, there's nothing really special about this location other than the fact that it is on a really major travel corridor. And the purpose of this travel bug hotel is to keep those travel bugs moving.
There you go.
It's the whole purpose of travel bug hotel. You don't want them travel bugs to sit stagnant at some cache out on some river somewhere for a year. You want to keep them travel bugs moving. And this travel bug hotel is actually within a half a mile of the Interstate 95 north-south corridor. We got the entrance to the Savannah International Airport right behind me. And it's literally, if you're traveling and you don't have an access to a vehicle or whatnot, and you're staying in a hotel on a layover, business or whatnot, this travel bug hotel is literally within a quarter-mile walking distance of at least 12 hotels. So it gets a lot of traffic. It's a real busy travel bug hotel. It literally gets hit daily. There's probably anywhere from 20 to 30 travel bugs in it right now. And this one definitely has some money invested in it. This box wasn't cheap, I ain't gonna lie to you. But a good travel bug hotel doesn't have to be this elaborate, but the location does matter. You want it somewhere that's on a travel corridor, that it can be an ammo can, it could be a big lock and lock, but you want it somewhere where the travel bugs are gonna get in, get out. You got to keep them travel bugs moving.
There you go.
For the audio people, one, you need to go check this video out. But it was a solid metal container. It looked like it was strapped to either the pole or to the LPC there. So technically, it's an LPC,
right?
But probably a little better than the average LPC. But outside metal container, inside were multiple boxes on shelves. So it's separate. It's compartmentalized, and then the top two on this, and you really should go look at the video, but they were made to look like it's like a dollhouse type hotel.
Yeah.
So it looked like a true hotel, which now, granted, somebody put a lot of work into that one, right? That's not your average thing. You don't see that very often. But I would absolutely feel safe dropping my trackable in there.
Absolutely.
I mean, I was assuming it was lockable. It was lockable, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay. I mean,
I saw it
was, but
yeah,
you put that much effort into it, and that's great. That's a true, like, if you own that cache, you've got to be super proud of that one.
Yeah.
That's got to be the coolest cache around, and great location on it and everything else. I think that one's pretty cool.
One of the things too about travel bug hotels, and this is something I know Susan and I want to work on, is getting one done in town. If you are sort of apprehensive about asking a local business about putting a geocache out.
Yeah.
I think this is a way to kind of dip your toe into that type of discussion, because if you explain to somebody what a trackable is, and you said, "Hey, I want to put out a box, on this, near here,"
Hmm.
and explain to them what it's for, show them, take trackables and show them. These are trackable numbers. People log them, and they want to, and they people come and get them, and they move them and all that. I think that the conversation, for some may say that it's harder, but I think it might be easier to get a location approved by a local owner of then again, it might be easier, maybe easier for somebody who really wants to get into putting caches out at local businesses.
Yeah.
Maybe this is a way for them to get involved and do that. So
Right. And if you don't want to ask permission, just make it look like a bomb and nobody will touch it. Is that?
let's not no
Oh, no. Okay.
no let's not do that. Let's
Suspicious item.
let's not do that.
That would be a good name for a geocache, wouldn't it be? Suspicious
It
item.
would be suspicious item. Yeah. Okay. So some other ideas. I noticed Marcellus had a good idea. This is something that you and I have talked about before in a different way. So let's talk a little bit about the Travel Bug Hospital.
Oh my gosh, I have found one of these before.
So
And
Marcellus
it's
says
a great concept.
there's a super popular one in Austin, belongs to paramedics and looks like a hospital. I love that.
So cool.
Now, our idea, tell people what our idea was for an actual Travel Bug Hospital.
So I think this is the one we were talking about, but it outside a hospital, I think is what we talked about too. But actually the idea, and the one that I found, we got this from a cache that I actually found in Colorado, but it was a travel bug hospital, and you bring your travel bugs in, and the person that owns, or anybody brings travel bugs, right?
Yeah.
But you put them in the little separate little containers in there, and the owner will clean them if they need cleaning, attach a toy back to it if it needs something attached back to it, and we'll get the goal and put it on a little printed piece of paper, laminated piece of paper, and attach it to it. So now you have all the elements you should have on a trackable, and then send it back out. So basically it comes in, it gets cleaned up. A lot of times you'll see like the toy goes missing or the item goes missing or whatever else.
Yep. Right.
And it's just a tag at that point.
Yeah.
But they patch it all up, clean it all up, put the goal back on it, and send it back out on its way. So that's the hotel part of it. It actually improves the trackable, which I'm assuming they're going to reach out to the owner and say, "Hey, is it okay if I attach a toy to this or whatever?" But how cool is that to actually? That's literally improving the game, right?
Yeah.
I mean, like, we say it a lot, figuratively, but that's literally improving the game. You're improving the game pieces and helping people out.
Yeah, that's the hospital part of it, and that's really cool. Yeah, I love this idea. Well, and you and I, we talked about before. You and I found that one. It was just the tag, just the dog tag, and that was it. There was nothing attached to that silly thing. So we obviously grabbed it and moved it on. But
yeah,
if we had a travel bug hospital nearby, you or I could have kept it and dropped it off there, and the folks in that area could have that own that could have and you could maybe co-own. Might be a good idea to do it as a group, so you're not the only one that's tasked with
split up the responsibility with like your local group, and maybe that's even a good thing for like state groups to do. Have 2 or 3 around the state where people can go and drop them off, and you can get them all cleaned up, and you have several people working on it. But
you could have like your little group in your area, maybe, or your city, that could all work together, and it'd be like, split up the months or something.
Yeah.
And then everybody take a month, and then that's your month is to go by there, see if there's anything if any of them need to be worked on, and fix them up and get them ready to go again. So somebody come by and pick them up.
I think a TBA hotel is something that you have to be willing to invest some time if you're going to put one out. You need to be able to, because again, that agreement, if you're putting out a TBA hotel, you're keeping them safe, you're checking on it, you're moving around, you're involved with that cache. That's not just a cache that you throw out and don't think about anymore. Right. And there's some if you have people helping you do it or whatever, you can really do some neat things for it, whether you're repairing the TVs or whatever you're doing it. But there was, I don't know if anybody remembers, it's been several years since I've seen one, but there used to be a series, which probably copyright didn't help any, but called the Stargate series.
Oh, yeah.
And so these travel bug hotels, and I think they had them all over the place, but I know they had one here in Colorado. There was a group of people that got together and they made these Stargate hotel travel bug hotels. So the general idea for any, if you're a fellow nerd and you like the show Stargate, you could put it in like the one in Colorado, and the owner of that would go once a month and collect them all and send them to a Stargate in like Tennessee.
Right.
And so it instantly go to whatever country or state that it had on the thing. And they had a whole ring of them set up, and they got tons of mileage on it, but they could get to a whole new area of the country. And then they would release them out into the wild after that. And it was like magic. They would instantly go, and it was pretty neat.
Like they're portaling. You're portaling between them. That's great.
Portaling, right? So, which is a great concept. Now, keep in mind that the owners of that decided they were going to take on a bunch of responsibility, because you've told them, I'm going to take these and I'm going to ship them. Well, travel bug shipping, if you're shipping stuff once a month, that can cost some money. Yeah, absolutely. Now, it's a really neat concept, but at the same time, that's one of those, like, if you're doing something like that, that's your focus. That's your keystone cache that you own, right? That's your big one. You don't want to do that and have like 10 of those.
Yeah, Sarah's saying, I love the hospital idea is a great idea. And another one is I actually have a picture I can show you guys. There's a little gnome guy. So one thing you can do, you can theme your travel bug. Instead of, obviously you could do a hotel, but also you could do something else with the theme. So obviously we saw the video where he literally made it look like a hotel, which those are cool too. But you could do a theme. Again, you got to be careful about copyright or commercial, what they call it, promotion of commercial. Yeah. There's rules against certain things, but you could do like those people did with the gnomes. You could make a little gnome hotel where all the gnomes are hanging out. You could do a Star Wars themed, type of hotel and use all that. So
look at that.
Josh.
So that's a great idea. So Josh says he's got a cozy cottage, hotel, and spa. So it's part of a little free library. It's the back compartment of it. And with owner permission, he'll spruce up the trackables. Perfect. But it's right in his front yard. So he has control over it and can watch it. That's exactly what I would want.
I agree.
I can't get permission. I've tried. I can't get permission to put one in my front yard in my neighborhood. Yeah. But I would love to do that because, you could put a camera on it. You could do whatever you wanted to do. Yep. And it's super secure. And I would feel like I'm responsible for that, just like his. And that would be awesome. Yeah.
And he combined a couple ideas together, which is great. The idea of having a free library, I think, is tremendous. But also to trick it up, you could, again, this idea that you can combine these two things together, make it even, because trust me, you're going to get a favorite point for a free library / travel bug hotel. I bet he gets favorite points is another thing.
A bunch of people have travel bug hotels, like really creative ones in the audience.
Jesperi says mine is the heavy duty trackable hotel, has heavy equipment working on one end and rooms on the other, themed to different heavy equipment names. I like that.
And he said it's on the property of a cat dealership.
No, yeah, perfect.
Yeah, that's too cool. Like, you don't come across things like that. And granted, between you and I, we found a bunch of caches, right?
Right.
How often do you come across something that cool? It's rare.
Very rare.
That's what I want to own. I want to own something that cool that people are like telling stories about it. You know what I mean? That's awesome.
And I think people are a little more motivated for travel bug hotels if it's something that they have other interests that they have, they can combine them.
Right,
So
right.
yeah, so like if you're a real really into reading, you could do a free library, or if you want to do a free library, you could make your travel bug hotel be a travel bug library and make it
Hmm.
themed so
Yeah.
that when you walk into the hotel, into the library, you can put in little dollhouse type items that looks like a library, because it's
Yep.
fun to do. Again, depending on what your situation is, get the kids involved if that's something that is of interest, or you know is part of your life that you want to be able to include. The kids might just love getting in the middle of those kind of things. We
Yeah.
kind of
Like if you're into pipe bombs or whatever else, you could do all kinds of themes.
let's not do that one.
Okay.
Let's
Okay. All right. You're
Okay,
right.
but you get the idea. You get the idea. Um, you could do, again, variations not only just on themes, but variations of places. So we've talked about hospital. You could do a jail, make it jail themed, kind of cool looking.
Somebody mentioned that.
Yep. Sarah mentioned about a trailer park. You could
I,
make
I like that.
a trail bug trailer park. I like that. That'd be kind of fun. Um, travel bug pool. I guess you don't want the travel bugs to go in the water, but you get the idea. Something that interests you that you think would also fit. Also, since like Jasper was saying, it fit with the cat dealership. You could approach a potential travel bug hotel location, say a donut shop, and you could talk to them about, hey, I want to make it into, yeah, we got the
Yeah,
general
we found that
store.
one, the general store.
Yep, which is awesome. Not at a general store, it's a general store
Yeah.
instead of church, but that's cool. Yeah, but you could do like, for example, like the donut shop. You could make it where you find little stuff to put in there that's sort of donut themed. I mean, you get the idea. Variations on a theme. Think outside the box a little bit. Think outside the Trail Bug Hotel, and think about doing something that's a little bit different.
Mm-hmm.
Because again, a Trail Bug Hotel is typically going to do pretty well as far as favorite points. But again, like you said before, careful of how you do it. Make sure it's locked,
Yeah.
because muggles will just flat out steal them. But you want to make sure that they can't get into a container of that nature. I would paint. I think I would. I would try. Oh, there you go, Pizza Ninja. Was he thinking about pizza and being a ninja? But he thought about a pizza parlor. That'd be a cool idea.
I like that.
Um,
There's
what's
really a
Josh?
lot of things you could do theming it up.
Walk in. That's funny. He's thinking about checking on our walk in, which is which is off the freeway, is an actual walk in the same Russian.
That's funny. An actual walk.
A walk in WOK. So nice. Get creative. Definitely get creative. In the show notes, you're going to see some resources.
Mm-hmm.
Facebook groups. There's a couple major ones. There's the Trail Bug Hotels Facebook group. There's a TBHOA, the Trail Bug Hotels of America. There are, both of those have several photos if you want to go check out some ideas.
Oh yeah, and if you just Google Travel Bug Hotel,
yeah,
just Google it. You'll see so many pictures. You'll be inspired for sure.
Definitely. Our friend Pete over at Island Buttons has a Pinterest board, dozens and dozens of pictures, of amazing pictures of travel bug hotels. Check out IB Geocaching, which we would want you to do anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Is go check out IB Geocaching.
They've got great stuff.
Yeah, and definitely check them out, because they're supporters of us. They're sponsors. So definitely check out IB Geocaching. IB Geocaching too. Once in a while they do a travel bug resurrection, but that's really kind of for another show. That's
definitely for another show.
Getting into travel bugs, but
I think the idea is that if you're going to do a travel bug hotel, you've agreed to a few things. One is, maintaining it, making sure the travel bugs are safe, and it's not just a junky little container, regular container, right? Just because it's a regular doesn't mean it's a travel bug hotel. You're kind of, because it's an unofficial thing like FTF or anything else like that. Yeah. The agreement is you're going to make it a little better than normal, right? It's not going to be just a sandwich container under a lamppost.
Right.
You should put some more effort into it. It should be a safe place, because sometimes we forget, because how many travel bugs have you seen? Probably thousands over the years. You've seen and passed on thousands, right?
Yep.
But what we forget sometimes is, remember, this game is still for kids, adults too. I mean, but like, this is a kid-friendly game. Right. That may be their one and only trackable that they've spent tons of time to make a story and attach their favorite little toy to it, and they want to send it out and see where it goes. And there's kind of a responsibility to keep it safe and keep it moving, right? I know people trash them all the time. I got that. But if I'm a travel bug hotel owner, I don't want my place be where that little kid's travel bug went missing.
Goes to die. Yeah, you don't want that. Bell on the Move mentions owns a travel bug Lego hotel.
Nice. Lego hotel.
Bricks Hotel. I'd give it a favorite point right now. I don't even know what it looks like. I'm giving it a favorite point. Point for you. I'm giving it a
no kidding.
There's no question. Bricks Hotel, that's perfect. Yeah, think about the name. Have fun with that. And
think about it too. Like, if you approach a hotel and say, "Hey, I'm going to bring a lot of people by here," who's going to say no to that? Like, we'll stick it out of the corner, we'll stick it in the back or whatever else. We'll make a really neat container. Here's what it's going to look like. It's going to be themed like your hotel, and people will come from all over the world to stop by here. There's a game fight. A hotel is going to want that to happen, right?
Absolutely.
They're going to want that kind of exposure, and the cooler you make it, the cooler they're going to want to have it out there, because people are going to come by and visit it.
Yeah. Well, that's perfect. Yeah. That's something I think too. Like you said, I didn't think about that, but not just local businesses in general, but also check the hotels. Maybe, like you said, I mean, what's better than a travel hotel at a hotel?
Yeah.
And they're usually competing. They're not the only one in town typically. So any little incentive, anything that marketing wise will get them a little leg up, and they don't have, and again, it's something that they don't have to deal with. You're going to control, you're going to maintain it for them. If you're going to maintain it and they got nothing, all they're going to do is get extra business possibly. Oh yeah. That's a guaranteed win. So, all right. Well, we're kind of getting to the end. Again, show notes will be up here in a little bit for that, so you can see those. Derek also put a link to the video we showed you in there. I guess kind of let's go around, give maybe some final thoughts for tonight.
So travel bug hotels, I think they're really neat. That's one of the aspects of the game that continue to be interesting to me. You see many things many times, but travel bug hotels tend to be something that somebody spends a little more time on. And we've been fortunate enough to get to play most parts of this game, but I've never been able to own one of those myself. Just the conditions haven't been right yet, because I want to make sure I really put out a good one. But I want it to be special. If you put out a travel bug hotel, like some of the people that are listening tonight, they have some really cool travel bug hotels. I would just implore people, if you're going to put out a travel bug hotel, make it like your crown cache. Make it the one that you're probably the most proud of, because you can do anything with it. And I'll tell you too, if anybody out there is listening now and they want to send in a picture of their travel bug hotel, send us a GC code or whatever, we'll absolutely feature it. If you put some effort into it. Now, don't be sending some pipe bomb looking thing up under a bush, because we'll also make fun of you. But
Yes.
no, send in, if you're going to put something really cool like that really helps the game out there, we would be happy to feature that on the show.
Yes, absolutely.
And we can do it either anonymous or not, whatever you want to do. But that's that. I think more than most types of caches, a quality travel bug hotel is giving back more to the game than most other things are.
I agree.
And that's always a positive, right? I think that's huge.
Yes. My final thought on the trail bug side is, yes, I think that one thing we all want to see, I'm pretty sure I'm correct on this. We all want to see people's travel bugs safely move from place to place, or if they have a goal and they're trying to get somewhere, we want to see them get to where they want to go.
Mm-hmm.
Some
Absolutely.
just want to travel, which is fine. But there are some that want to get to a specific spot, and I want to see them succeed in doing that. So that's always cool to see, especially if they're doing a return trip. That's always fun to see.
Or if they're in a race.
They're in a race. Yeah, trail bug races. We didn't even talk about that. There are usually always races going on, and what better to do? I mean, the one trail bug race I was in, it went to one cache and died, disappeared, gone. So, now I own the trail bug number and I resurrected the travel bug, but that's for another show. But
and that happens, right? It just happens. Right.
The one that it really sticks in my mind is the one when Arcs brought you. I think it was your Michelin Man. Wasn't it?
Yeah, it was the Michelin Man.
So the Michelin Man, for those that don't know, was a trackable promotion that geocaching.com did a few years ago. And it's a little white Michelin Man that was also a tire pressure gauge. And the idea was you send them out, and I don't think, most people know that if you send out a trail bug, you probably never see it again. But this one actually got all the way back to Jesse. So I don't know. Did you ever send it back out, or what'd you do with it?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I try to make sure I always send out promotional trackables.
Yeah.
And I keep sending them back out, right? Like if they come back every once in a while, I hold on to them, take some pictures with them. But I know they're mine because I was awarded them. At the same time, I feel like they should be going out because they're promotional deals.
Yeah.
I didn't pay for it. Rarely, I don't think you ever pay for a promotional trackable.
No, you don't. But Ozvox, when is this other show you mentioned so much? It's just another show. That's for another show.
That's a
down
secret.
The road. Yep. The shows we did mention, though, don't forget Friday, tomorrow night, Gadget Talk. Friday night is the G and Cache Radio network show, which I think you'll appreciate all the little nuances along with that.
It'll be something different for sure, right?
Something completely different. I think people will like it. It's a lot of fun. We're all characters in this little skit that we're doing, and there's a lot more to it than just the scraping of the snow off the ground. So you're going to see a lot. I just want to share that because it was right here. But anyway, and then Saturday there'll be a Gadget Talk out there as well. So we're doing that. That's coming this coming week with the Monday show and then the weekend. So anyway, thanks everybody. Hope you enjoyed talking about this. And what are you laughing at now?
Dire Wolf. He said, I only came here tonight because I thought it was a Gadget Talk episode. Sorry to disappoint you, Dire Wolf.
We know it. He knows it wasn't.
That's some funny crap.
It's the POSS. It's the Plain Old Sunday Show.
Plain Old Sunday Show.
Plain Old Sunday Show. All right. We're good for tonight. Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
May your finds be many and your DNFs be few. May the terrain and difficulty both be less than 2. And whatever it is you're looking for, may it find its way to you. And may we all meet again.
Folks, we hope you've enjoyed the show tonight. Please email us your comment at geocachetalk@gmail.com. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. The show can be found on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Radio Public, or Spotify, as well as at the Geocache Talk website. Don't forget to click that subscribe button below and ring that bell notification so that you can see and hear the show on a weekly basis. And tell your friends about the show. Get them involved with us in the chat room. And until next week, don't just talk about geocaching, go geocaching.